the final is set as far as the women's bracket is concerned. Iowa defeats UConn 71-69. And the Iowa Hawkeyes are going to take on the South Carolina Gamecock women at 3 o'clock Eastern on Sunday afternoon, 12 o'clock Pacific. South Carolina are now 6.5-point favorites in this game. The total is a little higher than I thought that they would make it. It's 160.5. It was 162.5. It didn't come anywhere near it tonight. And for the record, South Carolina tonight, their total was 139.5, and they only got to 137. So as an over better, I'm not in love with this. South Carolina are they're not similar to you, but they are similar to UConn in a way that South Carolina don't play like track meet. Like, it's not their thing. South Carolina aren't the greatest shooting team either. They have a couple of girls that can shoot, but you'll notice with South Carolina, they're like bullies. Like, they're just so big, and they attack the glass and stuff. Like, they get a lot of second. You'll notice they're sort of like Michigan State men's team were when they were good. Like, you'll notice South Carolina will get into the paint. They'll miss, like, a layup, and it'll be like, come on, you got to hit that. But she'll get her own rebound, or somebody else will get the rebound. They just dominate you on the glass, which is going to be a problem for Iowa. But my initial instinct is that Iowa are going to play with them. Iowa was 6.5 here. If you look at this Iowa Hawkeye team and everything that they've been through over the last 2 years here, the pressure on Caitlin Clark, the rest of the Iowa Hawkeyes, they're not WNBA caliber players, but they've been together for like years, these girls. And they lost in the championship game last year. So here we are. They're 10-1 in their last 11 NCAA tournament games. They have one more to go. And then on the other side, you got South Carolina, who have lost one game in 2 years. And the only game they lost was to Iowa last year in the Final Four.
Insane.
So somebody's got to lose. I got to tell you, though, shout out to everyone joining us on SiriusXM Channel 159. But I got to tell you, Cam, these games are all close. These women's games are close games, bro. Like, getting 6.5. I hope it continues to climb. It opened at 5.5. It's up to 6.5 right now. I doubt we'll get a 7.5, but I think Iowa plus the points are the play. And they look tired tonight. I bet you they're better on Sunday, Cam. I think they got the pressure off now. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we're going to the final. There's one game left. There's no more drama. We don't have to worry about anything. Shut out the media. Don't let anyone talk to Caitlin Clark for the next 48 hours. Let her get some rest. Exactly. They'll be fine on Sunday.
You played in these big tournaments too, right, Gabe? The Quebec tournament and stuff. You get that 1 day of rest. It changes everything after you play like game.
Well, there's more pressure.
Game.
You know, Cam. You played in this stuff. There's more pressure getting there. Once you're there, it's like, all right, cool. Now let's just play, right? Once you get to the title game,
It's a great point you bring up, because once you're playing, like, everything is pressure. And then when you win, it's like, yeah, we're there. We're playing with house money. I will say this. I think Vino even said a couple books opened this thing up at 4.5, 5. And now you're saying it's what? 6.5. Man, these people, this is the thing about women's basketball now, Gabe. They're moving lines the way they're doing it in NBA. Like, this stuff is being watched. It's being bet. If you give me
Monday,
Iowa
LSU was the most bet game out of any sport on Monday. Amazing. Now, it was a big game, but still, years ago, the women's final, a women's regional is not getting more action than baseball, NBA, and everything. But now, it dominated. It got so much. The betting on it is, like, just surging, and it'll continue. In the past, the WNBA used to kind of be just for D-Gens only. And now with the surge of this, and one really cool thing I noticed tonight, I was thinking about this tonight, because I saw that the Las Vegas Aces are moving their game. It's July 2nd. The Las Vegas Aces, the defending champions in the WNBA, are hosting the Indiana Fever. And they moved the game from their arena. It's a nice arena they play in. Like, the Michelob Center. They get 12,000 people in that arena, and they're sold out. Every game is sold out in advance for the Las Vegas Aces this year. But they moved the Caitlin Clark game to the T-Mobile Center. So they're going to be playing like 21,000 people. And it starts soon, Cam. Like, the WNBA draft is like April 14th.
You're right. It's like literally
like
in
it's
days.
Next week. So they're going to be able to carry the momentum. They're going to have Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese is in the WNBA draft, Aaliyah Edwards. So all these players that people are seeing on TV now, with the exception of Paige Beckers, they're all going to be in the WNBA in a month. The season starts like in 2 months, whatever. It's around the corner. So
you know what?
Then Caitlin Clark will be on the pros, and then WNBA games are going to be the first thing you'll see. Indiana Fever, first game of the year this year. It'll be the most viewed WNBA game ever. And then when she plays against Las Vegas, it'll be the most viewed. Then when she plays against New York and Sabrina, it'll be the most viewed. Like, they're just going to keep on raising the bar now.
Thing is, man, and it's actually hilarious. It's like a band that, and I'll give you a lot of credit. It's like when we started this business, when we're gambling or whatever. And I remember you, and actually after you got me in the WNBA and coach. And then now all of a sudden everybody and their mother's betting this stuff. Nobody used to bet that. Remember we used to talk WNBA and people like, what? Is that even on the schedule? Now look at the numbers.
The only time people, shout out to everyone joining us on all of our AM radio affiliates. So the only time people would talk about gambling on the WNBA would be the day after the All-Star game. And in the old days, it would be the only thing to bet on, right? Like baseball would be on a break. Nowadays, whatever. People bet on everything now. There's soccer, there's this, there's some stupid tournament, there's some match where they always have gimmick stuff in the summer now. But the WNBA used to just be for real hardcores. The WNBA, though, is not the easiest league to bet on. That's the whole thing. Like, I bet on all leagues. I'm not like, I don't profess to be some sort of WNBA expert. I get into a groove sometimes, and other times I don't. I sort of bet what I know. I figured out the Las Vegas Aces, and you can figure out who's good and who's bad and stuff. But WNBA betting is going to be massive now, bro, with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and these players coming in. And it'll just continue to grow, man. You got Paige Beckers in 2 years and Juju Watkins in 2 years. Like, there's going to be more of these stars coming up.
The one thing I've noticed about WNBA betting, and like we've done quite well in it sometimes, we're on a really hot streak. You know what it is, Gabe? The obvious is not the obvious. And sometimes these teams, like, you'll catch a team that's absolutely junk, and one time the other team will just, like, it's kind of like college football money lines where you're like, a 16.5-point dog can lose outright. It's not like that. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we were betting it. There's no pattern to it. I find it very, very difficult. Like, you're right, but you can get in a groove. One
thing that's good with the WNBA, though, there's always a team every year, Cam, that's bad that we can just fade.
That's true.
Like Indiana were bad, like Chicago. Like, there's certain teams where it's like, yeah, they're not good this year. Now it's just coming back to me off the top of my head. I remember last year, bro, the Dallas Wings were a great underdog.
Yes.
They gave Vegas big problems all the time, and the Dallas Wing games, like, sailed over the number. Track meets.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay. All right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat, it's all live bets. There's nothing from...
Oh, we missed it! Get my three!
Hit it!
Come on!
Hit it!
Stop!
Hit it!
Yeah!
Oh,
we
my
got
God!
it! Foul him! Foul him!
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. This is Sports Rage. I am Morency, the pitch, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust them, and everyone else in between. Shout out to everybody joining us on all of our AM radio affiliates, including the Buddy or 1090 ESPN Radio. SoCal in the house. Countdown to tip-off is on. It was an epic women's game tonight, but it's time for DJ Burns and company to take the floor against Zach Edey. I saw something interesting tonight about Zach Edey that I did not know, and I was unaware of this, but Zach Edey was talking about how much money he lost this year, as Zach Edey is from the Toronto area, and I was unaware that if you are a foreigner, you're unable to cash in on any NIL monies.
That is the biggest load of crap I've ever. Oh, you got.
That's what Zach Edey
God.
said too. I give him credit because he doesn't talk much, but they said so, and he goes, "Yeah, I got something to say about something." And he goes, "I want to comment on the NIL rules." He said it's preposterous, it's ridiculous, and he goes, "You guys have no idea how much money I had to turn down this year because of this."
BS.
You know what though? It's not an NCAA law. It's a law. He doesn't have a green card. He's allowed to play basketball. He's not allowed to make money. It's like,
it's not his
he's
fault.
getting screwed. He's getting screwed over.
Listen, like
yeah,
Tony
but the thing is, Cam,
talk about
but hold on. He's not allowed to make money, but he's allowed to make money for you and Purdue. He's making money for everybody else. He's making money for ESPN. He's making money for all the TV networks. He's making money for everybody. But he can't get an NIL deal? Come on. Like, really? What are we talking about here?
How's Purdue's science department doing? How is everything else with the school doing?
You know what they said, though, Cam? They said he's free to get NIL deals from his local country, Canada. So what's he going to get, a shawarma? Some, like, a chicken burrito deal?
For Tim Hortons. The Zach Edey fritter. This thing is big and
I'm Zach Edey, and when I'm cold in the wintertime, I love a Tim Hortons coffee. You're right. Zach Edey, here's a Zach Edey critter. Like, what's he going to get? You know
Hi, I'm Zach Edey for Rogers Cable, and I got the best fiber optic. Like, what's he gonna like? Come on, man! I'm gonna tell you another thing. He could have he went to the Crestwood Academy, whatever. And I know this team because I know a lot of guys that played professional sports. My buddy would have been. He actually gave my buddy Granville ran like a 10.2. He had like world class speed or whatever, and he had a child, whatever. But he went to the Crestwood Academy. This is a new school in Toronto that every person that is like going to the pros or higher level goes there and stuff like that. You know how much that school costs? The guy's like, he didn't grow up like, a son of pharmaceutical monies and all the other thing. Like the whole thing.
No, Zach Edey's,
anyway.
He's not a rich kid. His parents weren't rich. No, he's not a rich kid, Zach Edey.
About. I'm pissed.
He's not poor, but like he's just an average, like middle class kid. No, he's not rich. Just for the record, Purdue center Zach Edey has been frustrated with an American law that prevents him from capitalizing on NIL deals. I feel like I missed out on a lot of money. 2-time AP Player of the Year. You damn right he did. Edey was Canadian as a Purdue on a student visa. He's not legally allowed to make any money through NIL deals that takes place in America. However, there are loopholes. For example, he can accept NIL money if the work that led to that money was done elsewhere. Edey can do NIL deals when he's home in Canada or when Purdue travels internationally. He said that he does make money off of jersey sales, but he said it's next to nothing. Edey expressed hope that the law will eventually be revised to allow international players to make money on NIL deals. Hope they change in the future. I've obviously lost out on a lot of money this year. At the end of the day, it needs to change for sure. I understand the legal process. It takes a while. The thing is, it's not an NCAA rule. It's an American law. Anytime you try to change that, I understand it'll take a while, but they need to change it.
Yep.
He's got a point. Whatever. They just should have come up.
Canadian Tire. When I buy my basketballs, they're Spalding. Like, what do you want this guy to do? He's going to do donut commercials? Like, what company? Okay, Gabe, you tell me. Like, what's the deal? How does he make the money? And Canadian companies have to like figure this stuff out, and they should. I want to get a picture.
I want to get a picture of the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar kid in the White Sox uniform that you didn't understand when I told you he signed an NIL deal with the White Sox. You're like, for what?
I said that. Was that Finn or me?
Yeah, no, Tony Finn steps up and in right now. Oh, what's up, Tony?
Okay.
Hey,
Tony.
I have listen. I can help Edey. We can make him some money. The government doesn't even know about it. Canada doesn't. We can. Listen, big dude. We can help.
Here
you know
we
right?
go.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. You can always.
I'm Zach Edey.
I want to know your plans for Zach Edey. Yeah.
Non-generic Viagra. Like, what are we doing, Tony? Like, under the table deals and stuff like that? No, he doesn't want to deal with
you know what though, Tony? You could. Any one of us could be an NIL. You could, like, hypothetically pay anyone. Like Michigan fans, which I find kind of crazy because and I love the Michigan Wolverines, but Michigan are so rich, yet the fans actually have a fund now where they put in money and stuff.
Well,
like, so fans are paying the players. Like, we're paying the players. So it's basically like, and they actually give the money to the kids for real. So, like, it's like Maize and Blue, whatever, NIL, fund, blah, blah. And it basically says, we need to pay this kid $1.2 million. Can you chip in what you can? And fans do. And I got to be honest, when I was drunk when we won the championship, I told them I'll chip in a couple $100.
Did you?
No, I didn't do it yet. I owe a couple $100 to the Michigan NIL fund.
Yeah, but you also go.
No, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Dude, Michigan, University of Michigan is worth $8 trillion. They can raise their own NIL money.
Buddy, I tell you, I go to the crappiest tavern in the land, and this guy from Michigan rolls in with his khaki pants and his loafers and stuff like that. He's drinking Chardonnay. It's like, you told me, Morency. I'm like, it's Michigan. Everybody that went to that school's got like tons and tons of money. Like, Michigan's loaded.
Except Teddy Covers.
Oh, Teddy Covers is a Michigan grad? And he's busting us
Teddy.
for picks?
Yes.
Teddy's a Michigan. Yeah.
Why'd you bet that game, Gabe?
Teddy's a Michigan.
You're acting like we used to tell people. We used to pay the athletes all the time. We didn't tell anybody. We just paid them. So
right, Tony.
What's he talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Bring back the envelopes. Let's go.
That's the whole thing. When Nick Saban's complaining about how the game has changed, I'm like, what do you mean it's changed? Like you said, you've always like, what Alabama players have been driving.
That's right.
They've been driving like Mustangs and Chargers like for the last 10 years. Like, how did that happen? How does every kid on the football team have like an $80,000 car?
SMU. That's what, like these guys. And the thing is, I'm for the kids. I had a buddy that played on a baseball scholarship. The guy can't even go to a damn barbecue. Like the NCAA are like the feds. It's like, dude, what? A coach can't help a guy that didn't come from a rich family, and all he wants to do is have the whole system sucks. Sorry,
that stuff
pissed me off for years.
All that stuff's gone though. That stuff doesn't exist anymore.
Are you sure?
No.
The NCAA has no power over anything. They're all but dead. Like as far as like all those rules and stuff, like they're not worried. What are they going to do about like a slice of pizza? Like in the old days, you're right. Like they actually had in a rule book, you could give a player a bagel but with no condiments. Like really stupid stuff.
Bagel, dry. I want butter. Yeah. No. Cream cheese.
You know one rule that they have. They probably still do. But if you're a college basketball player, you win a national championship, your ring can only be worth up to like $700. Yet the coaches and everybody else get real diamond rings.
Yep. Exactly. You said it,
right?
Gabe.
So there's a lot of little things where the kids are getting screwed. That's why when people say, oh, the kids are spoiled now and they want NIL stuff, it's like, no, whatever, dude. The school doesn't care about them. Nobody cares about anybody. Like anybody at home that ever bitches about an athlete and money, as if you wouldn't leave the city, your job, if someone was paying you a hell of a lot more. So shut the hell up.
I'm right. I agree. Amen.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay. All right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat. It's all live bets. There's nothing from.
Oh, we missed it. Give him a three.
Hit it.
Come on.
Hit it.
Stop.
Hit it.
Yeah!
Oh,
we got it. Foul him. Foul him.
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I mean, I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. It's the Friday Night Freak Show. LeBron James has commented on the ending of the Iowa and UConn game. And as you watch the replay and you see the pictures, I understand why UConn are as upset as they are. LeBron James was furious with the ref's controversial call at the end of the game, in which they called UConn had the ball and they called a foul on Aaliyah Edwards because she kind of smoked Gabby Marshall. But the thing is, so LeBron James tweeted out, "Nah, I ain't rolling with that call." Angel Reese tweeted out, "Wait, that screen was not set clean?" Las Vegas Aces star Kelsey Plum, who was in Cleveland watching the final live, agreed. To call that on a game-deciding play is so wrong, in capitals. Wow. She says, wow. We saw it. She got hit. There's no disputing about it. But as I talked about, I think that Iowa do it deliberately, knowing, like, Gabby Marshall, she's short. She's tenacious, but she's short. And it's worse than it was because Aaliyah Edwards is tall. So Aaliyah Edwards is big. Her arms are already basically at Gabby Marshall's face level, right? True. So, you see this in hockey a lot. Chris Pronger talked about that, which he goes, I get called for these penalties. He goes, what the hell do you want me to do? He goes, I'm the same level as this guy's head is. He goes, I can't move. So they have a point here. I get it. I think it was kind of a controversial call. I was caught up in the moment of only caring about getting to 139.5, so I didn't care at the time. I was just like, whatever. Again, I got to be honest, that call won the bet for me because they didn't call that. There would have been a foul after.
Yeah,
so
great call.
I actually won. I won. Yeah, good call, ref. Call like you see it. Call by the book. Just by the book. No, that was a crazy call. Great game, crazy ending.
No. But Gabe, okay, just forgive me. This happened in a huge game before too, and it was even like worse of a screen, and they called it the other. Like that's what they do now. It's like you have to understand, and you guys know this. We bet on sports every night. Some refs want to be a part of the show, and other guys are going to let it go. It's that simple. And
now, what it is, it's sort of like we said the other night when there was a hockey fight. The referee looks over. You know what I mean? Like in football, if someone gets hit really hard, they just call a penalty even if it was clean because, oh, my God, they must have been hurt. Mm-hmm. It was the collision itself, the way that it looked. As I stated, Gabby Marshall's small, Aaliyah Edwards is big. They smash into each other. Marshall sells it like, oh, my God, I got killed and I got murdered. And then they call it. That was a tough call at the time, but I'm not going to argue with Kelsey Plum. I mean, I'm not going to argue with Angel Reese. I'm not going to argue with LeBron. I think they all have a very valid point. But as I stated, I don't care because I won my over bet because of that foul. So it's a cold world. And plus, UConn still had to hit the shot. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? They had the ball. They still would have had to hit the shot.
Yeah. Gotta love betting.
Well, like you said earlier, I've lost a lot on bad calls. And I win. Like, whatever. It was a controversial call. I'm not going to deny it.
What are we going to do? Me, you, and Tony Finn going to change the world? No, we just won a bet. Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't make the call. They can't blame me. I'm not the ref.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't blow the whistle. I was just an observer. Right?
Right on.
Just an observer. All right, Tony. NC State tomorrow. Yeah. They're going to cover? Are they going to get this done against Purdue, or Purdue are going to roll them? What do you think?
Well, I like NC State, but is from a gaming, a metric aspect and angle and view, you're supposed to be fading North Carolina State. Obviously, I mean, if you look at their metrics and the numbers comparatively, Purdue should probably be a 14 or 15 point favorite.
14 or 15. Wow.
Yeah, but we all know, throw out the metrics in the NCAA tournament. They don't mean anything.
Well, I think I wouldn't argue with that. You're right. I wouldn't argue that, but it's hard for me to do it because that's what I do. You know, math is.
No, I get it. Okay, but let me ask you, and I don't want to put you on the spot. What are North Carolina State's metrics in their last 9 games compared to what they were in the season?
There's your conundrum, right? There's the caveat to doing metric. I mean, at some point in time,
yes,
right?
sir.
I love this guy. Caveats and conundrums.
There's the conundrum. No, but it's true, Tony. Like NC State are not the same team now that they were all year. So those numbers are almost irrelevant.
It is true.
Yeah, I know. Here's the deal, though. I believe that a team pretty much plays this. This is a special thing, like you just said. This is the March Madness. That's why they call it March Madness, right? Strange things happen. Teams play better, play far above their pay grade, better than they played all year, or they played worse. And there's no staying the same. North Carolina falls in that category. North Carolina State, they fall in that category. They're playing their best basketball. So, like I said, if I'm in that room, Gabe, I'm on North Carolina State plus the points.
So they've won 9 in a row. They're 7-2. They didn't cover against Oakland, barely. It was 6.5. I was on Oakland in that game. I remember, it was 79-73. The last time they lost was to Pitt. They lost 81-73 to Pitt on March the 9th. They've been on quite the run in this tournament. They were a free throw away from losing to Virginia in the ACC Conference Championship game. Then they pull off the upset, and they beat the North Carolina Tar Heels in the ACC title game. Then they beat Texas Tech, which nobody thought they were going to do. They were supposed to beat Oakland. They did. They were 6.5-point favorites. They won by 6. Nobody thought they were going to beat Marquette. Nobody thought they were going to beat Duke. But Purdue are better, Tony, than all these teams we just talked about.
Exactly.
I would say with the exception, and North Carolina, I would say are right there. But everybody else on Purdue needs to really play well to cover 10 points, though. And I don't think I'm gonna hang my hat on it. People don't buy in. They're acting like these guys. I don't know. I don't get it, Tony, too. People are acting like 6'10" isn't 6'10". I keep hearing NC State don't have the size. Middlebrooks is 6'10".
Yeah.
DJ Burns is 6'9". Diarra is 6'10". Like, I don't know. Like, am I dumb or is that like big? You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's 7'4", but they got 3 guys that are nearly 7 feet tall, man.
I got a lot of things to say right now, Morency. One of your favorite rants was on TV. You're a liar, Earl. They're doing like the best rants of all time with Earl Weaver. Just made me laugh. But let's talk. I had money on Virginia, okay? They should have lost the last 4 games. When they won the game, you remember I said Zion Williamson, the shoe broke, whatever. They should have lost to Auburn. They should have lost to Oregon. They were down in every game with seconds left. They got a lucky call. Hit a bucket, and that's the thing.
Yeah, but this is a different run for NC State because that was the last time. After that, they've won convincingly. They beat North Carolina, but they haven't really had any luck since that happened. That moment was their luck moment. Virginia were up by 3 with a couple of seconds left. If he hits the free throw, they're up by 4, and NC State lose in the ACC tournament. They don't make the NCAA tournament.
That's my kind
Ever
of point,
since then, though. They beat North Carolina by 8. They beat Texas Tech by 13. Oakland was the close one, 6. They beat Marquette by 9. They beat Duke by 12. They've actually been cruising. That's why I'm going to take them plus 9.5. It hasn't been luck. They've been the better team.
No, but my point being, the sample size. But listen to what I'm talking about. Remember in these games, right? You said it. If Virginia hits another free throw, we're not even having this conversation. When the Maryland Terrapins won the national championship, they hit a friggin' shot from farther than half court to beat the UNC Wilmington Seahawks. They had problems with the Boston College. And then after that, boom, they go on the run. You need one little break to create this. The thing is, NC State got there. They haven't had as many as those other teams, but you always need help to do what you're doing. That's all I was trying to say.
Not if you're UConn.
UConn's
no, it's UConn. They don't need any help.
Model versus somebody rolling off the bus going, "Hey, I want to be a Hollywood star." UConn's different. They're so damn good in every area.
UConn,
right?
UConn have only trailed in this tournament, Tony, for 28 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've been down for 28 seconds.
Yes.
If you believe in negative progression, then you're probably going to fade UConn, right? But this is a different animal. You guys, I think you have done a great job describing and painting the picture of what this is.
It's been 2 years, so at what point?
No, right.
The only question for UConn is whether they cover the 12, right? It's getting to be high right now. They've been on this tear. 10 straight NCAA tournament games by double digits. I do think it's going to be kind of close to the number, but I don't know how you feel, Tony, but I do think that UConn are going to win by about 14 to 16 points, maybe 17.
Well,
I think they cover the number.
Yeah, here's the Alabama, listen, if Alabama hits 38% of their three-line shots, this game could be close, 40%.
Yep.
That they can be there because of they're offensively dynamic.
They have circled. They've circled 16 3-point shots. Like Nate Oates is sort of like, we need to hit 15 to 17 3-point shots to win this game.
Yeah.
That's like
number?
50 points, right? 45, 50 points from threes.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot.
Well,
yes, it is.
They're going to take like 43s or something. They're going to bomb away,
50.
so they're going to have
50.
to hit them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah,
They
that's
can't
going to
beat
be
UConn in a half-court game. They know that, so they're going to push the tempo.
Yep.
But it's a dangerous way to play, and we all know, too, how UConn gets you on this, and this is what they were doing in Illinois. You take the three, and it doesn't go in. It inevitably leads to a fast break, because threes aren't good shots. So the rebound pops out. UConn are very good at getting the rebound, denying you the second chance, and the next thing you know, they're on a 2-on-1, 3-on-2. They have that advantage all the time. And they're not reliant on the three either. We'll see if Alabama go cold playing in a football stadium. Or if the kids are ice cold and they got ice in their veins. We'll find out. Which cold are they going to be?
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay. All right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat. It's all live bets. There's nothing from.
Oh, we missed it.
it.
Get the three.
Hit it.
Come on.
Hit it.
Stop.
Hit it.
Yes!
Oh,
We got
God.
it. Foul him. Foul him.
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort
night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is Sports Rage. I am Morency. And while we were all watching the women's college basketball game, the Las Vegas Golden Knights had an epic collapse tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. And dear God, I wish I was on the Coyotes when they were down 4-1 in this hockey game, and they came back to win the game 6-4. 6-4. Wow. This is almost
7-4.
backbreaking for Vegas. Oh, now 7.
They just scored
score again.
And I'm going to tell you something. All the people
you're right. Yeah, there's still 2 minutes left. Yeah, there's still 2 minutes left.
Oh, I know it. Sure.
Dude, they scored on like 6 of their last 7 shots or something like that. Like goals just keep going. I remember I told you guys earlier in the week.
Yes.
Said I don't buy into Vegas. I'm not believing they're going to be able to flick some switch. They give up a lot of goals, this team, man. They just do. They're not the same defensive team anymore. They're not.
I'm just going to say one thing, and then you could cut my mic. Nobody takes stupider teams and crazier stuff than me. But when I see a team down 3 or 4 goals and I'm thinking they're at home, why not? The NHL Hockey League is the craziest league in the world. And Gabe knows this. He played goalie. I'm getting these teams at plus 3.5. You sprinkle on the money line, Gabe, it could save a night. I don't do it all the time. I screw up, I admit. Sometimes I get a little bit bold with the Sharks or other lousy teams. But look at tonight. Even Anaheim, when they were down 3, the line, whatever, they lost by 2. The 3.5 wins and the 2.5 wins. I'm telling you, take teams down in hockey. You will win more than you lose. End of discussion.
Listen. In-game live, Cam, if a favorite goes down a couple goals, I come right back and play them minus 1.5. And it's all the time I win those, you know. They're not that much of a flyer at all.
Well, I don't
you
win
get a
all
minus
the time.
200.
They will tell you. I don't win all the time. I'm just saying when you catch one of these, you win big money. That's all I'm saying.
We also have a collapse going on the diamond right now. The Red Sox were up 5-1. Now it's 6-5.
Yeah.
The Angels have come back.
Still
some baseball left in this game.
It's
still a lot of baseball left in this game. We're only in the 6th inning right now. So 6-5. In-game total is 13.5. So, Tony, looking at Saturday's baseball card, we had a wild one today at Wrigley Field. Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run in the last game. Now he goes deep again. There were 1 million runs scored in this game today. I mush Bobby Miller. The guy struck out the side in the first inning. I was talking about how good he is. And then he gets lit up in the second inning after the fact. But do you think the Dodgers bounce back? And, you know, the Dodgers have scored 5 or more runs in every one of their games this year. That's pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. Well, that speaks to, and they're 7-4, right? Oh,
no,
that speaks
3.
To 7-3. Okay, I thought that. You're right. I thought they were 7-3 coming in today, but regardless,
I love
irregardless.
Like he is my guy. Like he's the best. Sorry, Tony. Continue.
7-4 is whatever it is. They're scoring some runs. This is reminiscent of. It's just reminiscent of me watching a video of a panda bear. They don't care about anything. You know, they just let things roll. Right. This Dodgers team is going to be pretty relaxed all year long. They're not going to care. If they're in first place, you don't think so? I believe it wholeheartedly.
No, Tony, no.
Okay, they're 7-3, 70% win
Panda
rate.
Bears care about a lot of stuff, and don't let the fun fool you. They will murder you in a heartbeat. But anyway, continue with your baseball analogy. They're not as friendly as they look.
Well, they may not be friendly as they look, but I can tell you this much: I think body language speaks volumes, and I think I'm a pretty good judge of character from body language. And I'm telling you, this team goes into every game. They're relaxed. They should be playing at a level that's credible, and they are. 7-3 is great, guys. But let's see what it is. We'll see what after 82 games, we'll see where they're at. But this team can play relaxed. They're so deep. Their checkbooks. That's one of what's the lady say? What's your wife say? She said, "I couldn't have bounced that check. I can't. I had to have some money in the bank. I still have checks left." That's what the Dodgers are. It's just crazy. It's just crazy what they're doing. What do they have? How many $1 billion of their payroll? They're good. They're relaxed, and they're going to be difficult to beat all year long.
They only have the 5th highest payroll in baseball. Yeah. Just for the record.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Really,
but
no,
I get it. Ohtani's contract is deferred, So it's a little whatever, but you want to get into semantics about it. But they aren't like number one with a bullet or anything like that with the payroll. The Dodgers do a good. That's what makes the Dodgers so good. They spend money on a few superstars, but so many players on their team are always homegrown, right?
Yes.
They have so many guys that are in their own organization that are studs, and that's how they're able to trade people as well, right? They have a plethora of stock that they can trade that never even play for the Dodgers.
How many teams have all Hall of Famers, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2, 3, and 4 in their lineup right now? How many teams have that? Because all those guys are Hall of Famers. Am I wrong?
Listen, it'll come down to, I don't know about Will Smith. The first 3 are.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Freddie Freeman's he'll be a Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts will be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, absolutely.
And Shohei Ohtani will be a Hall. I don't know. They kept Pete Rose out of the Hall. Maybe Ohtani will be the next.
Yeah,
one.
you never know.
He's not in the Hall.
Is he in the mojo?
Ohtani had a interpreter. This is what Pete Rose should have had, right?
Yeah.
I've said it before. Pete Rose betting on baseball is like the least worst thing that guy's done. So,
what was your game, Gabe? The one that you're playing tug of war in the casino, and you just sit there and suck back drinks. It's an even Steven game. Baccarat, right? Mini back.
Oh yeah,
that's your game.
No. Baccarat is a suicidal Russian roulette, the fast track to hell. There's nothing slow about it. Pai Gow.
Pai Gow. Yeah, sorry.
If you want to, if you want to bleed time, not bleed time, but if you're looking for a casino game, you want to sit down at the table and they'll come over and bring you the drinks. And it's hard to lose money fast. In fact, the lady told me, I worked here 18 years. I've never seen someone lose $500 at this game as fast as you just did. Because I got impatient. I was sitting there. I was like, more, right?
That's
it's a weird game
for a guy that wants to get lit up and just
it really is. Because you know why, Cam? It's slow.
Yeah.
Like it's not fast. Like she deals the card, it goes back and forth. It's a slow paced game. It's a bunch of cards. And the other thing is the dealer has to tell you too, like the rule. So you can be all lit and stuff and say, "What should I?" Yeah, exactly, Tony. When you play Pai Gow, she'll just tell you, "Do this, do that." And
they don't tell you that when you're playing blackjack games.
No,
they're just like,
no, you're on your own. No, I don't know what it is about Pai Gow. Why is that, Tony? Like she goes, I'll let you know the rule anytime you need to know. Just ask me.
Game of
so
honor.
I was always asking her.
Because they
it kills a lot of time.
Bears that play Pai Gow. I got Panda Bears that come down and play Pai Gow. Somebody has to have a game. There's got to be one of those tables where you can go and not give a about anything, and they do everything for you. They have to. I love it. I love that game.
I got to get into Pai Gow. That's not my game, but I'm going to learn.
You would like Pai Gow. It is fun. Yeah, you can win money too. It's not like old lady bingo. It's like you're playing for real money. It's real. It's just
300. You lose 300, but you're not going to lose paychecks. Yeah,
it's sort of like the one table. Like it's like an amusement park where it's like it's not the roller coaster. It's like I want to get off and just sit down and chill and play some cards here with a dealer, but I don't want to be on a roller coaster. Like you know what I mean? And they look like it's slow. Yeah, it just sort of goes along. But Baccarat,
there's a couple of hands.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Baccarat, that stuff.
That's serious.
That's where.
That's serious.
That's like that's what keeps casinos open. Baccarat. I lived at casinos. I used to see it too. Like they used to snap. They used to get mad at me. I'd be eating like a Jack in the Box taco at the blackjack.
Nice game.
Like,
doing it real low style.
I'm eating like I was at Palace Station, so I'm eating like a taco, and they're like, "Hey, dude, you know you can't." Like they knew me. I was like, "All right, I'll go over there and I'll eat it." Like so, Baccarat people, I'm seeing them, man. They're eating like noodles and ramen. It's on the table, and it's like it's different for them. Because they don't want to get up and miss a hand cam, so they're like, bring them their food.
Yeah.
And you see, Tony, they bring the side little carts, and they're eating at the table, and they have their full meal right at the table, Cam. They have the cart right there because they don't want to miss a hand, but they want to eat dinner, but they don't want to miss a hand.
It's like a lady on the
casino knows, man. This Asian lady is dropping $60K tonight. Get her damn food. Like we don't care. Bring her food to the table.
If they had portable, I will tell you this much: portable showers.
Single deck and double deck too. That's another thing. It's so like, even though it's quick, it's a different vibe than regular blackjack. Like I stayed at the El Cortez game. They're giving me sliders from like all sorts of like stuff. You just sit there and laugh.
Hey, listen,
you don't get pumped in that game compared to the
I don't want to be sitting next to anyone in a casino that's wearing an adult diaper because they don't want to miss a hand.
I've
like
never
that's when you got a problem.
I've never done
like
that.
If you can't go to the bathroom at least, like at minimum.
Yeah.
Like if you're there, like, no, I can't leave the table for a minute, then you got a problem.
The minute I go in my pants means I got to stop doing this. It's time for a new game. I agree.
They got special.
That's when it's time to go to Gamblers Anonymous. That's the line in the sand. Are you wearing Depends because you're so much of a degenerate?
I'm buying adult underwear. I got a real problem. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's like 2 days later, and the guy says, "Hey, I have to empty my bag. Could you bring somebody with a trick? Could you have somebody come here and empty my bag?"
God knows in Vegas too. Like I don't even want to know what people are doing. So, all right, Tony.
We're gonna play Pie Gow now before we get into the game. Thanks, and then stop talking.
Yeah, Pie Gow.
Yeah, you guys talk.
So what's your what do you like tomorrow, Tony? Major League Baseball. What catches your eye?
Well, I'll mention one. Do you remember last week we talked? I told you Severini was a shell of what he used to be, right? You remember that? We were
Severino.
His name. Well, yes, I like Severini better. I like that better, and it's like Dinwiddie. You know, Dinwiddie plays some basketball. Oh, I mean, Dinwiddie. Okay, yeah, Severino. Nick Martinez for Cincinnati against Severino. The Mets have been miserable, guys. They're averaging about 3 runs a game. They can't hit. Although they did well enough today. I know they beat me. I had a nice little prop on Green, which lost, but. The umpire was right. The situation is right, but I like Severino tomorrow. As far as that goes, now who else do I like? I got one other game that I really, really like, and I like Waka. Let me tell you something. I looked at Waka. I watched him. Yeah, I really do. Chris Flexen is another guy who, was kind of a one-year wonder or one-hit wonder. Call him what you want. When he was with Seattle, and he put together a nice little run when they were that fringe playoff team, which there still are really. But the problem with Waka is look at the number on him. Waka at minus almost 200, 195. Give me a break. So you're gonna have to violate some rules and play an alternate line or a run line on a home team, which I rarely do. I will tomorrow. Waka minus the 1.5 minimum. I also like Whitlock of Boston over Detmers. Detmers is a guy that can't command the ball or can't command the plate and his arsenal. And the umpire's right for that game as well as far as an over goes. I like Boston in the over, that late game out in Angel Stadium.
Kevin Gossman, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees today in the Yankees home opener. Tomorrow they've got Gossman going. Gossman's plus 102. Schmidt goes for the Yankees. Total is 8 in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if this was another under tomorrow. Under 8. In that baseball game. Dodgers are minus 188 favorites with Yamamoto on the hill.
That's the first.
Need the second one in a major way.
Okay, all right.
Need the second one here for you. 74-61. The sweat. It's all live bets. There's nothing from.
Oh, we missed it! Get my 3!
Hit it!
Come on!
Hit it!
Stop!
Hit it!
Yeah!
Oh,
we got it! Foul him! Foul him!
Only on SportsGrid.
Is it pretty much cut and dry that NC State is the biggest surprise of the weekend? I don't think anybody's bracket had the Wolfpack going this far.
I think they're going to find a way to keep this one close. And we all know Purdue's tournament history under Matt Painter. They've had a lot of early exits when they've been good teams, and maybe this is the time they'll exercise their demons. It's kind of like when Virginia lost to that 16-seed UMBC.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The early line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage late
sort of
night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're to the 3-minute warning. The quickest 108 minutes in sports talk and television coming to an end here tonight. San Antonio and Memphis are up first tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. All these games are nationally televised. San Antonio won last week. Memphis won last week. San Antonio are 2-point road favorites. I might have to do my first UFL teaser of the year in this game with San Antonio, but I promised to pick in every UFL game. We're going to do a video with them as well, but the under is the play in this game. Under 39.5. It's going to be a smash mouth game. But one thing about this league, too, is you have to go for two, which if you don't get, it throws off the total a lot. So you get 6, and then you're at 12. But if they hit the 2s and they're getting touchdowns, it multiplies fast, right? So it's a double-edged sword with this. But I believe in San Antonio and Memphis, both their defenses are good. It's not easy to get to 40 points. I'm going to go under the number in this one. Arlington and St. Louis. The Battlehawks are laying 5 points. I think they're on to something here. It feels high, but I think Arlington are going to kind of struggle here. Look for St. Louis to play a lot better. They only lost because of a 64-yard field goal last week. I think St. Louis are going to get it back. They'll play well, and it'll go over the 41. We'll do a video with all the picks. I'm taking NC State plus the points tomorrow, and I'm taking the over in the basketball game. LA Dodgers are minus 188 tomorrow at Wrigley. I think they bounce back. Yamamoto on the hill. And don't be surprised if Ohtani hits another home run. He's hot right now. It's home runs in 2 consecutive games. Don't be surprised if he goes deep again tomorrow. Mookie bets as well. You get a nice price on Mookie. Cam, you have any golf bets on the way out here?
Well, Gabe, we have Batia at up plus 135 to win the whole thing at 70-1. If you're looking for a long shot, Corey Connors won this tournament twice. He's 33-1, and I know me and Morency liked him for a top 20. Watch out for Spieth at 28-1. Blue Jays plus 102 in baseball, and I got a hockey pick for you. Don't look now. The Pittsburgh Penguins are hot. Plus 102 against the Lightning. Let's rock.
Thank you to Tony Finn. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.